Hello bookish friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi. Let me fix his hair first. And today we are starting an Ultimish Bookish vlog. So this video is going to be all about doing the fun bookish things that us bookish girlies love to do, which is book shopping, showing you a haul, and reading a good book. At the time that I'm filming this intro, I have already gone book shopping at 3 different locations, which I'm going to insert the B-roll after this. And then once the B-roll is done, we'll come back and I'll show you what I've gotten so far. But as I'm filming this, it is Wednesday, August 28th, and tomorrow I'm actually going to Brooklyn for work and staying overnight. Where I stay is like right in the beginning of Long Island because I'm not staying in Brooklyn, but like 5 minutes away from the hotel I stay at is one of my favorite Barnes & Nobles ever. It is just like a huge Barnes & Noble. It usually has a lot of like really good options and a lot of indie authors in store. So we're gonna go visit that tomorrow too. So there will be another haul. There's gonna be 2 book hauls in this video, and then towards the end it's going to be me reading one of the books that I have gotten during one of these shopping sprees. So if you like all things bookish and you love book shopping, book hauls, book reading, book organization, book unhauls, all that good stuff, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. And let's not waste any more time. Let's go back to the past couple of days and do some book shopping. Okay, so as you just saw, I went to 3 different Barnes & Nobles, one in Hartsdale, New York, one in Yonkers, New York, and then the last one in Kingston, New York, and now I'm home. Let's do a book haul. I also have a package here from a very special author, so let's just not waste any time and get right into it. The first Barnes & Noble I went to in Hartsdale, I didn't buy anything. It was a smaller Barnes & Noble and they didn't really have anything that like caught my attention. But when I went to the second one in Yonkers, I found 2 books, one being Consider Me by Becca Mack. This is a sports hockey romance, and I guess it's slow burn. If you know me, slow burn's not really my thing, but this had really good reviews on Goodreads, and I mean, this cover is just stunning. So I was like, all right, let me get it and I'll put it on my winter TBR and we'll read it in the winter months, and maybe I'll be in the mood for it. And since it'll be cold where I live, maybe this will make it a better experience and the slow burn won't really bother me. But I actually opened up to like a random page and saw like a dirty word, and I was like, oh, if that's how it's gonna be, I can do this slow burn thing. So that was very exciting. And obviously this was a buy one get one half off. So the second book I got is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood, and this is actually a book I've had my eye on for a while. I almost bought it in stores like maybe a week or 2 ago, but I was like, no, I'm not going to. I'm trying to be better about buying books. But when I saw that it also was buy one get one half off, I already took the sticker off. I was like, perfect, because this just seems so cute, so funny, and I've actually already started this, as you can tell. And this one is basically about a girl who like dies and she's in like a waiting room. Some man comes to the afterlife where she is and she like instantly falls in love with him, and then I think it's like the death therapist in this that she meets when she first goes to like heaven or wherever you go, gives her an opportunity to kind of go back to life and see if she can meet this man in 10 days, try to get him to kiss her. So it's really cute so far. This will be the book that we're reading in this video later on, but I am really enjoying this, and I'm about 62 pages in, really enjoying this so far. And this is kind of just like exactly what I needed. I have been in such a freaking reading slump, as you already know, in the month of August, and when I bought this I was like, I think I'm gonna read that right away because I need something funny, hilarious, romantic, cute, cozy to get me out of this freaking reading slump. And I wanted something that was kind of like brainless and very easy to read, and this is hitting the spot. So these are the 2 books I got at the first store. Today, as I'm filming this Wednesday, I was in Kingston and I was like, all right, let me just stop into the Barnes & Noble. And guys, I hit the freaking jackpot at this Barnes & Noble. The first book that I got is a book that I've seen all over, and it's a very cute, cozy, spicy, small town romance. That was very descriptive. And that book is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This book, I saw it and I was like, I don't even care what it's about, I'm buying it. And when I actually went to check out, the guy was like, oh my god, like those books are flying off the shelves, like we just got our shipment in today and I don't know how you got one. And this was literally the last book on the table. This was the last copy on the table, so I was like, I'm snagging it. This is a small town spicy romance. It's Grumpy Sunshine, and it seems like the main character, Jeannie, her aunt left her the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I gotta make sure this is focused. Her aunt left her this Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and then there's a local farmer who's very grumpy and likes his routine, so determines if the 2 fall in love or not. And this just sounds so cute, so cozy, and I mean, come on. This cover is giving all of the cozy fall vibes. Like, look at how cute this freaking cafe is with the little pumpkins out front. Like, come on. By Lori Gilmer. So very excited for this. The next book I picked up is Ghost Camera by Darcy Coates. I just heard Liv's Library talking about this, and when I saw it in store I was like, yes, please. And this is going directly on my fall TBR. And originally I thought it was just one story, but I guess it's made up of a couple different stories, which I kind of like because then I feel like I'm gonna be reading this quicker because I'm like, oh, finished a short story, let's keep going. This is about Janine, who finds an abandoned Polaroid camera and she snaps a picture, and like in the background there's a ghost. So it starts with that story, and then it goes to a woman survives a plane crash in a remote Arctic tundra, accompanied only by a stranger who seems fixated on something moving through the blinding snow. A house stands empty, hungry, waiting for the children drawn to it like moths to a flame. And also, a woman finds a shoebox filled with old VHS tapes. They have a note attached, don't watch, you'll regret it. So I guess it's made up of a couple different short stories, and I'm so excited. I also love this cover. I have one other Darcy Coates book on my fall TBR, so figured I would just add another, you know. And then the last gem I found was this bad boy right here, and this is The Way I Used to Be and The Way I Am Now, and this is obviously a box set. And I have had my eye on these books for so long, but I was always like, no, I don't want to spend the $42 for the set or each individual book. So when I saw that this was part of the 50% off sale, I was like, I'm snagging it. And there was only one left. So the first book is The Way I Used to Be. I'm not even gonna show you because it's gonna be really glary. I don't really know what these are about, but I'm pretty sure they're YA. I don't know if they're romance or not. I think they're just young adult, and I'm pretty sure it's about like this girl. It says it demonstrates one young woman's strength as she navigates the disappointment and unbearable pains of adolescence. So it's like a coming of age story. And yeah, so very excited to have both of these, and I love that they're in hardcover. Like, I love that. Okay, speaking of the Barnes & Noble sale, is anybody else like genuinely disappointed about what's on sale? I feel like there's no good books on this 50% off hardcover sale. I feel like I remember when it was like 50% off all hardcovers and not just like certain titles. But I don't know, I was in the stores and I was like, I'm not really vibing with any of these books that are on sale. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this video, was because of the sale. And every store I've been in so far, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like disappointing. Anyways, I do have one more book package here that I'm gonna open because I came home to it today and I was so excited. Let's see if I can open this. Jesus. Oh my god, shut the hell up. So if you haven't been watching my channel or you're new, I love Hannah Bird. She is an indie author who I kind of met from the very beginning of her career, and she gave me an arc of her second book because I love the first one so much. They're actually, I think they're on my TBR cart over there somewhere, but she writes gut-wrenching, very emotional romance stories about like people kind of going through crazy stages in their life and trauma and just sadness. And she is releasing a new book on September 5th, so go check her out. And that leads me to her newest book, which is, drumroll please, oh my god, it's so beautiful, The Cost of Forgetting You. And this is her biggest book yet. I'm pretty sure she said it was like 500 pages, which her books are normally like this length or smaller, so this is a big boy. And you know you're gonna bawl your friggin' eyes out at a book when the author sends you a package of tissues that says, blaming these tears on a Hannah Bird book. Like, you know you're just gonna sob your eyes out when this comes in the package with the book. So God bless. But I actually, whoa, I pre-ordered this on Etsy because it came signed and with like some cute little merch. So let's take a look. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but she did sign it. Oh, I have a signed book that came with it. And then shut up, look at this freaking sticker. It says giddy up, little cowboy boots. Oh my god, I'm dead. It came with a bookmark. It says, you temptress, come here and let me taste you. So she's definitely getting into like a little bit of spice, but I'm so excited. Oh my god, shut up. Look at this fucking art. I'm dead. So this book must have a little bit of spice to it, which I'm so excited about. The first two books of hers, the Loveless series, had like closed door spice, and then she came out with the Christmas novella, and that was pretty much like allspice, and I was eating that shit right up. And then I don't know if this one has spice in it because I haven't read it yet, and obviously this one clearly does have spice in it. So I am so excited. Thank you so much, Hannah, for just being you, doing all the amazing things you do. And I will probably feature these in maybe an upcoming vlog. Maybe I'll do a reading vlog with both of these and just probably cry my eyes out on YouTube for the entire time, which is fine. Thank you so much to Hannah for, well, signing the book that I bought, but just being you and writing the stories that you write. They bring so much joy to people, even though they are heart-wrenching, but it's like in the best way possible. So thank you so much, Hannah, for just existing, writing, and continuing to put amazing books into the world. Those are the books I have purchased thus far this week. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be going to, the bookstore that I'm going to is in Carl Place, which is like Westbury, New York, kind of in Long Island. And then when I get back, actually I'm probably gonna bring my camera with me. Though I am gonna bring my camera with me because I'm gonna record it. So when I'm in the hotel tomorrow, I will show you what I got. And then we will continue this bookish vlog with a reading vlog portion of it, and hopefully I'll be able to finish this by the time I need to post this video, but we'll see. So this is the book we're gonna be reading in this video, and I'm gonna go relax for the night, get some reading done, and then I will be back tomorrow when we are about to head into the bookstore. We'll go book shopping. I'll go back to the hotel, give you a book haul, give you a reading update, and then we will just continue on until I finish this book. See you then. obviously in a different location. I just checked into my hotel and I did some damage at Barnes & Noble. And I'm like happy about it, but also like kind of blacked out a little bit. So like I said yesterday, I think I said this yesterday, the Barnes & Noble that I went to today is like fantastic. It's 2 floors, even though the upstairs floors don't really have anything like for me, which I thought they did, but I think I'm getting it confused with the Poughkeepsie Barnes & Noble for some reason. They had better options for the 50% off. Still not great options, but the options that the Barnes & Noble and Carl Place had were definitely a lot better than the other stores I've been to. So let's not waste any time and let's just get into this big old bag of books. So I'm just gonna pick right from the top. I'm not gonna go in any specific order, but I did find the next 3 books in the Steele Brothers series that I needed, which are books 10, 11, and 12. So when I see the next books that I need, I always grab them because I don't always see them in bookstores, especially the 3 that I need for the next set of characters that we're gonna follow. So book 10 is Breathless, book 11 is Ravenous, and then book 12 is Insatiable. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but these 3 books follow Marjorie, who is the Steele brothers' youngest sister, and we obviously have never read from her perspective. I'm very excited to see what happens in her stories. Marjorie is like the cook of the family, and she always seems to be off in the city doing like culinary classes, so you don't really hear about her much, which is how kind of Ryan Steele was. So I'm very excited to have these 3 books in my possession so that when I finish Ryan's book this upcoming month in September, I can jump right into Marjorie's stories if I so please, which usually that's what happens. When I read any of the Steele Brothers series books, I finish one and then I'm like, okay, well now I need to just read the next one. And they're very short and they read really quick, so these are usually like good palate cleansers for me, even though they're really deep, dark, and fucked up. The first book I actually picked up when I went into the store is one of their 50% off books. So I'm trying to get the damn sticker off. Why do they have to put like book club stickers on it? Like, yeah, cool. At least those came off nicely. Anyways, that book is Good Material by Dolly Alderton. I have seen this book so many times in the bookstore and I love this cover. I think it's just like so fun and cute. She just came out with a new book recently. I forget what it was called. And I don't think it was very recent. I think it was like within this year. Everybody like loved it. So when I saw that this one was 50% off, I was like, all right, let's try it because that sounds fun. It says, Andy loves Jen. Jen loved Andy. And he can't work out why she stopped. Now he is without a home, waiting for his stand-up career to take off, wondering why everyone else around him seems to have grown up while he wasn't looking. Set adrift on a sea of heartbreak, Andy clings to the idea of solving the puzzle of his ruined relationship. Because if he can find the answer to that, then maybe Jen can find her way back to him. Andy still has a lot to learn, not least his ex-girlfriend's side of the story. And it says, in this sharply funny and exquisitely relatable account of romantic disaster and friendship, Dolly Alderton offers up a love story with 2 endings, demonstrating once again why she is one of the most exciting writers today and the true voice of a generation. So I guess they're just like funny humor romances, but I don't know, that just sounds like really freaking cute. And everybody's saying it's like so funny to read, and I was like, all right, this isn't my typical read, but why not grab something for 50% off and read it when I just like need a little pick-me-up, you know? All right, next we have another book that was 50% off, and I was so back and forth with if I was actually gonna buy this or not because I had put in the 3 Steele Brothers series books, which were not expected to buy. Those, like, I found them at the last second. This one I had in my cart, and I was, like, kind of tied to the story because it gives me, like, Good Girl's Guide to Murder vibes. And I was like, I love that, so maybe I'll love this. And this book is One Last Breath by Ginny Myers Sane. It's a YA thriller. It's basically about these 2 girls 20 years ago got like brutally murdered, and there's this girl Truly who's like always lived in the shadow of the story, and then one day a strange girl shows up trying to figure out their murder, and Truly and this girl that show up to figure out the murder kind of like form a romantic connection. They think somebody's stalking them, and then somebody else gets murdered, and they think that they are detectives and need to solve the crime. So very excited about this, and I think this would be a good book in between like heavier books to kind of just like cleanse my palate, because I know since it's a YA thriller, it would be a quick read. Okay, this next book I was so back and forth between because it was expensive, but it's so beautiful, and there's just something in my gut and in my heart telling me that I would absolutely love this book. And that is The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. And yes, I've looked at this at the Barnes & Noble in, it was either Hartsdale or Yonkers, and I was like, oh my god, that cover's so pretty, but I don't need it. And then today I saw it, and there was just like something pulling me to it. And usually when that happens, I'm like, okay, whatever that feeling is, I should just follow it because it's gonna end up being a great book for me, hopefully. The last time I followed my heart with a book was When the Moon Hatched, and I ended up loving that book. So hopefully it's gonna be the same situation with this, because this book was freaking expensive. But like, look at how beautiful it is. And it's got like beautiful blood red frayed edges, except for there's no like cool art, and the paper, the hardcover itself is really nothing special. So like, why is it $30? So this says, legends tell of a witch who became a queen, the heartless villain in the story of Snow White. But now the wicked queen is stepping out of Snow White's shadow to become the heroine of her own legend. Her real once upon a time begins when she is just Aelith, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, sorry, a young witch who lives in the forest with her coven. The witches practice their magic in secret, hidden from the White King in his brutal war against witchcraft. Aelith, however, faces a war of her own. Her magical gifts have yet to reveal themselves, and as the threat of the royal huntsman intensifies, Aelith fears she will never become the witch her coven needs. To prove herself, she sets out on a perilous quest that sends her to the White Palace, a decadent world of drama and deceit. There, she encounters an unlikely figure from her past, Jaquetta, a witch who once held her heart and betrayed her. As events at the palace escalate, she finds herself caught in the web of the White King, whose dark charisma is as dangerous as the sinister force that seems to be haunting the palace, and perhaps even Aelith herself. With the threat of discovery looming, she and Jaquetta must set aside the wounds of their past and work together to survive. As she uncovers the secret of the White Court and those of her own heart, she must find the strength to transform into someone she never imagined she could be, a powerful witch, the very wickedest of them all. That just sounds so good, and honestly, I don't know. This cover was just so beautiful. Oh, on the back it says, before the apple was poisoned, before the mirror was cursed, a witch became a queen, and a queen became a villain. Her story has been shrouded in shadow, but now she will rise. This thing is heavy too. Why is that so heavy? Okay, 2 more books. The first one, I don't know what about this caught my attention, but this is Sky Without Stars by Jessica Brody and Joan Rendell. No idea if I'm pronouncing that right either. And this is the System Divine book 1. I don't know what it was. I think like the font on the spine got me, and then I read the synopsis, and I was like, okay, that sounds cool. It says, a thief, an officer, a guardian, 3 strangers, 1 shared destiny. When the last days came, the planet of Leteri, also probably saying that wrong, promised hope. But 500 years later, it's now a place where an extravagant elite class reigns supreme, where the clouds hide the stars and the poor starve in the streets, where a rebel group, long thought dead, is resurfacing. Whispers of revolution have begun. A revolution that hinges on 3 unlikely heroes. Chatine, probably saying that wrong too, is a street-savvy thief who will do anything to escape the brutal regime, including spying on Marcellus, the grandson of the most powerful man on the planet. Marcellus is an officer and the son of a traitor. Groomed to command by his legendary grandfather, Marcellus begins to doubt the government he's vowed to serve when he discovers a cryptic message that only one person, a girl named Alette, can read. Alette, also probably saying wrong, is living in an underground refuge where she guards and protects the last surviving library on the planet. But a shocking murder will bring her to the surface for the first time in 12 years and plunge Leteri into chaos. All 3 have roles to play in a dangerous game of revolution, and together they will shape the future of a planet. Power, romance, and destiny collide in this sweeping reimagining of Victor Hugo's masterpiece, Les Miserables. Fuck, I probably said all of that wrong, but doesn't that sound amazing? I don't know, that just sounded really good to me, and it's the YA fantasy, which seems to be my jam these days. I got some pretty thick books today, I'm not gonna lie. This is 579 pages. Why am I doing this to myself? Last book is a book that every time I go to the bookstore and I see it, I'm like, I really want to like that and I really want to get it, but then I look at Goodreads reviews and I'm like, no, I don't think I'm gonna like it. Today I saw it and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I think I was just watching Rachel Catherine, I think that's her name. It was one of her videos recently, and she was talking about this book and how she really liked it, and that is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I literally debate buying this book all the time, and I don't know what it was about today, but today I just was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. This says, a formidable outlaw family that claims to be the first among nations. A son destined to lead, thrust subtly into power. 3 fierce young women of the Rattan, the Queen's premier guard. A legendary street thief leading a mission determined to prove herself. A dark secret that is a threat to the entire continent. When outlaw leader meets re-informed thief, a cat-and-mouse game of false moves ensues, bringing them intimately together in a battle that may cost them their lives and their hearts. I think it's like the cover, even though this cover is like not that special. Like it's nothing amazing, but I just, every time I go to the bookstore, I always want to buy this and read it. I don't know what it is about it. I really don't. So those are the books I bought today. I'm officially on a book buying ban. Like, it's gotten out of control this month. I've been so good the last couple months about not buying millions of books that I don't need. And then this video happened and this week happened. But you know, I was like on the lookout for books that were on their 50% off hardcover sale. Highly disappointed by that sale, if I'm being honest. It used to be all hardcovers no matter like what I thought. And now I feel like the sale is just like the shitty books that clearly nobody ended up loving, like everybody thought they were going to. So like I said, I'm at my hotel. I left my house this morning at 5 a.m. to be in Brooklyn by 8. It is now 2 p.m. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna sit and chill for a little bit, and then once I kind of revive and re-energize my soul, I will come back and we will start the reading vlog portion of this ultimate bookish vlog. Hi friends. Very sorry for the AC in the back. It's very loud. This room is really hot, so I need to keep it on. But and sorry about the hair, it's a mess. I probably should just put it up. But it is now 3:30. I showered and I've just been kind of like relaxing for a little bit, and I just ordered myself some food. I was gonna wait till a little bit later, but like I'm starving right now, and I usually order 2 sushi rolls, hibachi fried rice, and I was like, you know what? I'm hungry now. Let's order it, and then whatever I don't eat now, I can just save for later and eat later. And every time I stay at this particular hotel in this particular area, I always get this one hibachi sushi place because it's so good, and it's literally like 5 minutes away from the hotel, so it's just convenient. I have to go pick that up in about 10 minutes. Well, I'm gonna leave in like 10 minutes, so I figured I would update you on my reading progress for The Love of My Afterlife. I am thoroughly enjoying this. The main character in this is so freaking funny and like relatable. She just cracks me up. So this book is basically about our main character, Delphi. So she choked on a piece of like a microwavable hamburger and essentially passed away from it. When she goes to the afterlife, she's like stuck in this like lobby of waiting from death to the afterlife, and she meets this like death therapist or whatever the heck they call him. And she's basically like, oh, you died, blah, blah, blah. And then some really handsome, really cute man comes to that same lobby, and Delphi is like, wow, I love this man. I've never felt like this about a man before in my life. I usually don't care about men. She's a virgin, all this. And then he ends up not being dead, so he like goes away. And Delphi is offered this opportunity where she can go back to being alive, and she has 10 days to find the man that she met in this waiting room and get him to kiss her. It's so cute. I am now on page 104, chapter 15. So I read a decent amount yesterday. I read about 40-ish pages, and I will say, when I can put my phone down and actually focus on reading, I can read through this so quickly. So after I eat, if I could just like bunker down and get off my freaking bone, I could probably finish this or get pretty damn close to. But the freaking humor in this is so funny. So Delphi is basically like very antisocial, and she doesn't have a lot of friends or family. I don't think she has any family, and the friends she has are like the people she works with, so they're not really friends. And she just likes to be alone. Her neighbor downstairs is like a big asshole, and she's just like, you're cocky for no reason. And her other neighbor is like an older man who hasn't ever been able to speak, and she checks on him every once in a while. And she just likes her alone time, and she likes to be alone and not really depend on anybody else for anything. So I'm excited to see what the heck happens and if she gets the man or not. Because I love stories like this where it's like, you have 10 days to get the man. And in this situation, the man has to kiss Delphi. Delphi can't kiss him. And if she doesn't get this man in 10 days, she goes back to the afterlife and is officially dead. But if she finds him, she gets to stay alive. So really enjoying this. I'm gonna definitely continue reading this after I eat, but I'm gonna go grab my food, come back, we'll eat, and then we will get to reading. Got some fried ice cream because I couldn't resist. Some sushi. We got spicy crab and a shrimp tempura roll with avocado, and then some hibachi fried rice with some friends going in the background, and we're gonna have ourselves a meal. This angle and I just look absolutely lovely. It is what it is. I've been laying here just relaxing, trying not to fall asleep. Also, I know the AC is really loud in the back, but like it is what it is. So I kind of forgot to mention that in this book, her neighbor downstairs is this guy named Cooper who she kind of like doesn't like and like messes with all the time, and I don't think this is necessarily going to be a spoiler, but he is really good with like finding people. So he's helping her track down Jonah, who is the man from the death waiting room. And he was like, in return for my help, can you take a selfie with me? He helps her again, and he's like, oh, by the way, I did an extra favor for you without having to ask, and I need you to pretend to be my girlfriend and go to a game night with my family. And Delphi is very much like antisocial, kind of a miserable person, if we're being completely honest. Like, she's just like a miserable human and doesn't really like interaction with people. So she agrees to this game night just because Cooper helped her find Jonah, and now she kind of knows like where he frequents, I guess. She goes to the game night with his parents and ends up having like a great time, and it seems like she's starting to come out of her shell a little bit. But I'm like, wait a second. So I'm coming up with a theory in my head, and I don't want to say it on camera because later on in this video, when I finish this book, I'm going to say if my theory is right or not, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. This is going to be a spoiler-free reading portion, but I have a theory in my head about what's going to happen, and I just don't know if that's like where this book is going, because I don't know how she would like win this bet she has going with Merritt, who is her death counselor. That's what it's called, not a death it's either death counselor or a death therapist, one of the two. Merritt is her death counselor, who kind of gave her this opportunity to go back to being alive and get Jonah to kiss her. So yeah. Also, I absolutely love Merritt, who is Delphi's death counselor or death therapist, whatever it is. She kind of like pops in randomly, and she's like a hilarious fairy godmother. Like, that's the vibes it's giving, because at first she was like texting Delphi from the beyond and sending her funny things like, hey, you fucked up, you gotta redo this. Oh, you fucked that up, I'm gonna take a day away. She ended up coming to like Delphi's apartment and was like, my boss caught me texting and I'm not supposed to be doing this, and this is all like illegal and against what I'm supposed to be doing. And so she's just funny. It's just a funny book. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm on page 127. I'm really trying my hardest to stay awake. I have been up since 4:30 a.m. It's now 5 p.m. and it's hitting me. I'm probably gonna be asleep by 8 p.m., which is totally fine. I do have an early-ish morning tomorrow. I have to be in like Forest Hills, which is kind of like Queens area, I guess. I don't know. By like 8:30, 8:45. Gotta probably leave the hotel by 8, the latest. So if I'm asleep by 8, that's fine. Also, I put on new press-on nails last night. I got them from this girl on TikTok. They're from Amazon. And I put a gel top coat, and I think they look so freaking good. Like, they look like real freaking nails. Like, it looks like I got my nails done. So I'm very happy with that. But I'm gonna continue reading, and I'll be back when I have some sort of update. Hi friends, checking in. It is 8:19. I'm feeling a little stuffy. I'm gonna have a little more of my sushi because I'm hungry again. I've been waking up like with a scratchy throat. Okay, come on. Oh, I forgot my water. This whole week I've been waking up with a scratchy throat and like a really stuffy nose. I feel like I'm getting sick, which is not great because Chris and I have a wedding this weekend that we're both in. So that's fun. I wanted to check in because I have read to the 50% point of this book, which I don't get how, because I feel like this portion that I didn't read is definitely smaller than the portion that I did read, but whatever. I'm still really enjoying this. I feel like it's dragging a little bit. It's 365 pages. I feel like it could be like 50 pages shorter than that. I don't think this needs to be 365 pages, but that's not my decision to make, obviously. I forgot to mention that our main character in this, Delphi, when she like died, the death therapist, she said, do you want to see your life flash before your eyes? And she was like, what the fuck are you talking about? The death therapist played like a VHS tape with like some of Delphi's memories from her childhood and up. And you learn a couple things about her life and why she's such a recluse and doesn't like being around people, and her life is so sad, but also like the shit she's doing in here is so unrealistic, and I think that's why I like it, because like she sneaks into certain things and it's just like in the real world that would never happen, and now she's trying to sneak into this gala, like ritzy gala, to try to find Jonah and see if she can like run into him. And I'm currently at the point where she has 4 days left where she has to try to meet him and still get him to kiss her. So Cooper, her downstairs neighbor, seems to be like a big part of this. So I wonder if there's going to be something there. And the thing I like about this book, and I've been thinking it in my head as I'm reading, is I literally have no clue. where this is going to go, how this is going to end, and how this author is going to wrap up this story. And that's what I love about reading. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a 5-star book, because I am a little like, all right, let's get it going. Like, it's a little too long for me. Even though it looks relatively short, these pages are pretty thin. Anyways, I don't like when I can like read a book and guess what's going to happen, and then at the end, if I'm right, I'm kind of like let down by that book. Whereas this one, I literally have no clue how it's going to end. I'm sure there's some sort of magical element to it because of the whole like being brought back from dying thing. So just not sure where this is going to go, but excited to figure it out. I am going to eat a little bit more of my sushi, and then we're going to get back to reading. I don't know how much more I'm going to read. I would like to get to at least page like 200, which would be another like 25 pages, and then go to bed because I'm tired and feeling really congested, and I have to be up early tomorrow, and I've been up since fucking 4:30. I did take a 30-minute power nap though. I was sitting there, and at like 5:15, my eyes were just like cross-eyed and going crazy on me, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna lay down for a second. And I had the blinds open, so it was like bright in here, so I knew I wouldn't sleep forever. And I was like, I'm just gonna close my eyes for a second. And I literally took a 30-minute power nap, and it is reviving me till now, but now I'm crashing. So tomorrow, I'm probably not gonna check in the morning. I don't know, we'll see. I'll update you before I go to bed and let you know like where I'm at page-wise, and then I will be back at some point. I don't even know when. Hi friends, back and looking better than ever. It's, what time is it? 9:48, and I'm going to bed. I'm getting more and more congested by the second. My hair is looking more rough by the second, and my eyes are closing. I've also been up since 4:30 a.m., so I don't know how I'm still functioning, but I did make it to the 200-point mark, and I'm enjoying this. I really am. It's reading like a 3.5 to a 4-star, just because it's kind of like, okay, let's hurry this up a little bit. Like, I really don't think this needed to be 365 pages. We probably could have sufficed with like 300 to maybe 315, but I might be eating my words at the end of this. It really depends on how it ends. So I'm gonna call it quits for the day and go to sleep, and I'll be back maybe Sunday. I don't even know at this point. I'll just be back when I'm back. Hi friends, it is now Monday, September 2nd. I'm gonna not finish this book. I am on page 265, chapter 35, and honestly, I don't know how this book goes on for another hour, and I don't care to find out. I was really enjoying it at first, but this book definitely could have been 65 pages shorter. Like, if this book ended at 300 pages, it probably would have been good, but there's just like way too much build up for something that's probably not going to be that great. So I'm gonna look online and see how this ends, but I can't. I feel really bad because I really was saying that I was really enjoying this at the beginning, but like, we just started to get back to like how she's gonna get back to the afterlife, and if she's gonna be with Jonah, like, I don't know. So I'm just done. I really am. And obviously it's the beginning of September, so I really want to get into my like September TBR and my fall TBR, and if I keep reading this, I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna look up what happens online, and then I'll come back, give you my final thoughts, and we'll close out this vlog, finally. Okay, so I couldn't find anything that like spoiled this online, so I skimmed through the last 100 pages, and honestly, that could have been a really good ending if the build-up in the first 2/3 of this book weren't so boring. So let me preface that probably the first 150 pages, right around here, I was like, oh my god, I'm loving this, it's so cute, really like the main character, and then the main character and her neighbor started to develop a relationship. This is probably spoilers, so just be careful. They started to like develop a relationship. You could tell that her downstairs neighbor was starting to like fall in love with her, and all she could talk about was how she wanted to find Jonah, blah blah blah. They were like kind of stuck at a pub because it was raining so hard, and they couldn't get home after they like broke into this gala event, and they had to stay in. It was like the one room, one bed trope. They kissed, and then within like 30 seconds they were banging, and literally for a couple pages she was like, that's all she wanted to do. I skipped through a decent amount of this, and then the ending I kind of pieced together from like what I could read, and it would have been a really cute ending if this wasn't so long. Like, this book could have been 300 pages. It could have been 65 pages shorter. It's sad because I did like the writing style, and I did originally like this main character, but then she kind of just got like really annoying. If I had ever met a girl like this in real life, I would have probably drop kicked her because she was just like crazy when she first met Jonah for the first time. Like, instead of being a normal human being, she was like so awkward and just like cringy. But again, that's kind of like how she was throughout the entire book, because she's kind of like a recluse and likes to be by herself. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. We're gonna give this 2 stars because it wasn't that terrible, but it doesn't deserve 3 stars. Glad to have that over with. A little sad that I spent money on it, but it is what it is. And we have officially finished our first book for the month of September, and I did finish one of the books that I bought in this video. Was hoping to get my book of the month box for September in this video, and it's coming tomorrow, so maybe I can add it on. I think this video is going to go up on Thursday or Friday of this week instead of Wednesday like my usual videos, just because it is Monday as I'm filming this. Today's a holiday. I'm actually on like my holiday PTO day, and I know I'm not going to start editing this today. Like, it's just, I'm too tired from the wedding that we had this past weekend. Still trying to recover. I know I'm not going to do some editing, but really sad I didn't enjoy this as much as I was hoping, and kind of sad that we're ending this video on a bit of a low note. Not enjoying the book we read, but I did buy a lot of fantastic books in this video, and I'm so excited about it. You know what? I probably will include the book of the month haul tomorrow because I know it's coming tomorrow. So I'm not gonna necessarily end this video here. We'll end it tomorrow when I open that box, because why not keep the bookish vlog going with another book haul? Because I haven't been ordering from Book of the Month for like the last 2 or 3 months because I haven't really enjoyed their choices each month, but this month they had some pretty good choices. So we'll definitely open that tomorrow when it gets here and close out the video then. But for now, I'm gonna log off. I kind of think I want to start Dance of Thieves, which is one of the YA fantasy books I bought in Carl Place. Like, that's what my heart is telling me to read, but I know that's a longer one, so I should probably stick to what's on my September TBR, but we shall see. I'll probably update you tomorrow what I did start reading, if anything, and then we'll do my book of the month haul, and then we will officially close out this ultimate bookish vlog. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, hi friends, I am here to close out this vlog. My book of the month box has not come yet, so it's gonna be included in an upcoming September reset video, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that. I did get some really good picks for the month of September, I'm not gonna lie, but I actually want to go over 2 books that I purchased today, which is Tuesday, September 3rd. If you're an Elsie Silver fan, you know exactly what book I'm about to talk about. I literally was driving to work today and I was like, wait a second, this book comes out today, and it was like 9:48, and I was like, all right, perfect. I'm gonna stop at the Barnes & Noble in Newburgh, and then we're gonna pop over to Harriman where I need to go, and I got the book I wanted, which was Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is the 2nd book in the Rose Hill series. This is following West, who is, oh my god, what's the girl's name in the other book? So book 1, which is Wild Love, follows Rosie and Ford Grant, which if you know anything about me, you know Ford Grant is my book boyfriend, which I don't really do book boyfriends, but him, yes please. Sorry, Louis right here. But Wes is Rosie's brother, and this says, a rugged mountain town seemed like the perfect escape from a life in shambles. But on day 1, she ran full tilt into the world's hottest single dad, and now all her plans are ruined. Which, I guess I didn't remember Wes being a single dad in that book, but I guess he was. But these are basically just like romance books, and they're so good. Like, this one is one of my favorite books of the year so far. So when I heard that this one was coming out, I was like, immediate buy, like immediate grab. So got that. And then also releasing today was this book right here, which this is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. When I picked up Wild Eyes, I was at like the customer service desk, and they had a cart of books that they were just bringing out, and I saw this one. First of all, look at this cover, okay? Look at these sprayed edges. Like, this book is beautiful, and the inside art is also beautiful. Can you see? Like, this is just beautiful. I don't really know much about this, but I'm pretty sure Olivia Reads a Latte was just like raving about this. It says, the gods love to play with us mere mortals, and every 100 years we let them. I'm not gonna read what this is about because this video is already long. I'm literally in the process of editing it right now, but I was like, all right, my book of the month box is just not coming, so we'll just finish this out and move on. But on the back, this says, she'll fight for her life for the god of death. Just some sort of fantasy romance, and I think it's like mythology, like, because it says Hades and Zeus and all this crazy underworld stuff, so very excited for that. extremely excited for this, but I actually think I'm gonna read Harry Potter before I get to this one, so we'll see where we go from here. But so thank you so much for watching this ultimate bookish vlog. I did so much book shopping, it's actually kind of crazy. I'm really disappointed in the Barnes & Noble sale. Like, I feel like there just wasn't a lot of great options. Like, I feel like I remember when I first started reading, I went to Barnes & Noble the day after the sale and just bought like so many books because everything was on sale, but correct me if I'm wrong about that. Anyways, I was really hoping that in this video I was also going to get at least a 4-star read, but you know, we read The Love of My Afterlife, which was obviously not my favorite book ever. I ended up DNFing it with 100 pages left because I just could not do it. A bit of a disappointment there, but honestly the amount of books that I bought and the quality of the books that I bought totally makes up for that bad read, so it is what it is. But thank you so much for watching. If you like these kinds of videos, definitely let me know. Leave a comment below with what you bought from the 50% off Barnes & Noble hardcover sale, and that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.